Why are y'all so heartless? Why are y'all so heartless? I don't get it. Like, from one video, y'all really want to get me kicked out my apartment for what? For what? Now I'm most hated. Ain't I just a mother? Ain't I just a human trying to live? Y'all hate me for being a human trying to live? Y'all hate me that much? Are you serious right now? Like, seriously. I'm just trying to make it. Trying to make it in a world I ain't never had no guidance in. Like, they say what you laugh at will make you cry later, right? I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I made the video. Sorry I made a video. Now y'all call my management and tell them y'all was lying.
Your food.
That's the key right there. What she ended with, I think she was when she mentioned that what you laughed at will make you cry later. She was actually speaking. She wasn't speaking to the audience. I think she was speaking to what got her in that situation. Because I actually reviewed, I think the original video that ended up getting her evicted, which at the time, and I'm gonna say allegedly for everything because I'm just trying to recollect off the top of my brain. But I believe at the time she had been staying like in a apartment or a condo, Section 8, for like 10 years. And I think they gave her 60 days notice that she had to evict. But here's the key. The reason that she ended up in that situation having to leave and losing her benefits was because apparently I believe she was bragging, not just online, but also throughout her own little community and neighborhood about the fact that she had been getting $50 rent for like almost a decade. So she came online bragging, I believe, as well as bragging around her neighborhood. And what ended up happening was collectively, people reported her, and that's how she ended up losing her benefits, allegedly, recollectively, from what I can remember. So it just really goes to show that, hey, I don't advise you do any dirt, but if you're doing dirt, there's nothing wrong with just keeping your business to yourself. It's like when people are getting over, they just have this internal need, not just to tell on themselves, but like to actually have to brag and ish on other people as they do it. So, she felt untouchable. And what ended up happening was she took that mighty fall. And I guess it had been 30 days since that happened because now it looks like she's got 27 left. Let's get to the next video.
CHA or Section 8 in Chicago has not paid us in 3 months, now going on 4.
Oh,
They're tenants in our building. They're paying for one and have been, but the other one has been there for 3 months and they continue to say, oh, our bad next month, oh, our bad next month. I am missing May, June, and July, and they're going to pay it in August. But the tenant is coming in and paying her portion of the rent. But we're talking almost $3,000. It's going to be more than that by the time we get to August for the August 1st payment. Like, what can I do? Has anybody dealt with this? Like, it's Chicago. I've never, like, they're paying another tenant, but they're not paying this one's.
whoa,
Like, I would
that's
have been
interesting.
evicted a tenant if it wasn't, like, I don't even, what the heck?
That is crazy. So apparently the government is paying one tenant, but it's not paying the others because it sounds like the tenants are still paying. Wow, that is a dilemma right there. Now, of course, first off, shout out to her for because she looks young and apparently she's an investor, a real estate investor. So that's incredible. But I mean, it sounds like she's got multiple different either doors or properties. And in that case, they're paying one, but they're not paying the other. And you see, what we have to put this into perspective is that Section 8 doesn't pay rent as if you can collect as a private renter, right? Section 8 doesn't allow you to capitalize on capitalism the same way you could if you just rented privately to your own tenant that you selected. So think about this, right? Let's say her rent is, let's just say $1,000. She could probably rent that apartment privately for like $1,800. But on Section 8, they're going to keep it at whatever they deem as a reasonable rent price, which will probably be like $1,200. So I say this to say she already probably wasn't coming out on the green in a way to where she can afford to have one apartment getting paid for, but not the other. So I say that to say that she's probably having to self-fund in the meantime while they're not giving her her money. And, that's sad. And I hope that she's able to float by until they are able to catch that back up because she will get her money. But sometimes, depending on the state, foreclosure doesn't care. She has to still be able to keep up with these payments so that she can keep her property. So hopefully she's able to figure that out.
So I'm just curious about this food stamp thing. People have been getting $4,200 to $4,300 a month for their kids to eat. I raised 4 kids. I never needed that much grocery money. $4,200 would have paid my rent or my mortgage, my house payment, my electric bill, my water bill, all my household monthly bills. And these people getting all these food stamps probably live in Section 8 housing and they're paying $5 to $100 a month for rent. How is this possible? Just seems like big neglect by the government for even giving this much out in food stamps. I just don't understand. What do y'all think? This is so messed up. And now, no wonder these people can drive Mercedes, have nails, have hair, and brand new iPhones all the time.
Now let's discuss this Section 8 situation. A lot of y'all have been on Section 8 since the 70s. It's about time you get off of it and let somebody else have some help. Do you
That's
understand?
crazy.
The Section 8 waiting list
50 years? I didn't know it was that strenuous. That's insane. 50 years?
has been so long as it is because you have people from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s that abused it and never got off of it. They got on, said Section 8 should have always been 2 or 3 years unless you're disabled. We understand that. But if you are able to get up and work, you should have to. I have to work. Everybody in my family have to work. Everybody I know has to work. I don't know anybody on Section 8. That's the whole bottom line. Y'all say immigrants and people not from this country or whatever else, we take up Section. We don't take up Section 8. Y'all do. I know a lot of y'all, you might get upset, and that's okay. I don't care because maybe you one that's been abused in the system. But when a mother faces hard times in this country, she should be able to go apply for assistance, get it immediately, use it for however long she needed, 6 months to 2 years, and then put her kids in a better position. She can't do that because she got to wait 4 or 5 years to get on Section 8 because y'all been on it since the
Hmm.
70s. That law.
That's the biggest kicker right there. The biggest kicker is not opening up room for other people to get on it. Because last time I checked, they're not making any more land. They're not making any more land. And like I said at my original point, I mean, it's much more lucrative to just rent out privately because for that same reason, they're not making any more land. So if you're somebody who doesn't get rid of their home, then that's actually a really good investment. One, for appreciation purposes, but also for the fact that there are some people who would just either prefer to have a house or logistically it makes more sense to have a house or to at least live in a house. So you're able to rent. I don't know too many renters who are having trouble renting their house out. So you probably have less people deciding to even go on Section 8 or put their homes up for Section 8, while at the same time you have people who have had Section 8 for the longest who aren't getting off of it. And yes, there is a long waiting list if you want to get on it. That could take years. Let's go back to the other lady, the Caucasian woman who was right before her point, right? Her point was the fact that, there's people who are getting almost $5,000 while at the same time, well, in benefits, of course, while at the same time having Section 8 and low rent. The only way I could see that being feasible or possible to where somebody is getting that is what it seems like to me, based off me doing these reviews, is that children are an accelerator to benefits. So the more children you have, the more that money will accelerate and compound, and the more that you'll ultimately get as a result. So, of course, there's people who once you know that fact, it's nothing to just have kids and just be reckless out here. But they relied on laws can change at any time. So you should not base your future off the way that the laws are today. Ultimately, is what you got to take away from that, because there's a lot of people who are getting the sobering news that that may not be the case moving forward. And now, what are you going to do? You still have that permanent choice that you made, that you have to live with, that you have to deal with, and that you have to maneuver. And now they're going to have to figure out how they're going to sustain moving forward. So we'll leave it there, y'all. Like the video. Also subscribe if you want to join the Legion. And Cash App link below if you want to buy your boy iced coffee, tip the channel. And I have the Patreon link below as well. Till then, I'll catch you in the next video.